Hello, I'm Jannarone, editor-in-chief of IPO Edge and Exec Edge. I'm here with Chris Rondeau, who's the CEO of Planet Fitness here in Orlando on the sidelines of the ICR Conference. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Some news hot off the press here. Why don't we just jump right into that? Some year-end numbers. They're pretty impressive. Chris, you want to just give us a couple of highlights?
Yeah, it was so great. The fourth quarter, we have a lot of momentum. We ended up breaking our 17 million member mark for the fourth quarter. So great momentum there. It happened to be our biggest fourth quarter net member growth ever. Right. So really great. For the health club industry, it's great to be in the first quarter like that. And the first quarter, where all our joins really happen. 60% of our joins the first quarter, but to see the momentum pick up fourth quarter was great.
That's great. So then let's talk about the year as a whole. I mean, obviously there's some macro headwinds a lot of people are facing, inflation, recessionary pressures, but you're at a price point where hopefully that didn't hurt you too bad. In fact, I mean, could it have helped you? How did that play out?
Yeah, we saw this in 08, 09 with the financial crash. We had some really great sales numbers. Hypothetically, that people just down trading from higher priced gyms that people aren't using the pools, they're not using racquetball courts, why am I paying for it, And I really look at it in a forward price point like us, and even when times are bad, if you take care of your health, you take care of your health. You're just going to be more cost conscious when you do that.
Great. Let's talk about this acquisition last year of Sunshine Fitness Growth Holdings. Interesting deal. What was the thinking there? I was reading about it, and you want to keep an asset-light model, but you took these back under, the store-owned umbrella. So what was the thinking there?
Yeah, our rule of thumb has always been to try to stay about 10% of our entire store base. And the franchisees were growing so fast, we just couldn't open them fast enough ourselves to stay on that 10%. And this happened to be our very first franchisee ever from 2003.
Oh wow!
One of our better operators in the system. Great same-store sales track record. We knew all the history, and we were about 115 stores. They were about 115 stores. And we looked at taking over their management team to help run our 115 stores. I mean, some of their same-store sales were better than our corporate stores. Honestly, we were like, let's get there, get that dream team to run our stores, our legacy stores, and we proved out that to be true. Our legacy stores are doing phenomenal now. So corporately, we have 230 stores and we've got 2,400 total locations. So about 10%.
Great. Now, could we expect to see more deals like that? Or maybe if I'm going to guess, you want to keep around 10%. So you might adjust by doing deals like that over time.
Yeah, well, with those locations that we took on, had more territory to build. Naturally, our legacy stores are in the most mature markets, so we didn't have as many new units we built in those markets. We bought them a lot more greenfield locations we can open. So a lot more of that stayed at that 10% number. But you'll see some tuck-ins here and there that are there next to our current locations, and our management can run those easily and really agree to that.
Well, and I saw that when you announced it, I guess it was almost a year ago now, that it was accretive to earnings first year. So is that? I mean, I guess that would be one of the key criteria, right? So you want them to be accretive if you're buying them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we buy them at a decent multiple, great margins that add to our multiples margins as well as far as.
Now, Chris, I've actually talked to someone who's told me about the benefits of being a franchisee, but he said it's hard to get one. Is there a long waiting list, and what do you look for?
Yeah, we're a pretty mature franchise system at this point. Been franchised since 2003, and we really don't bring in any new franchisees at this point. We grow with the existing franchisees. They're all multi-store operators. They're very sophisticated financially and operationally, and we just grow with them, right? And it just allows us, honestly, if it wasn't for that, we probably wouldn't have got through COVID unscathed. I mean, right. The industry lost 25% of the stores closed in the industry. We wouldn't use a single store.
Now, tell me about, I guess, for most of the country, hopefully we're basically out of the pandemic. Does that mean you've been able to reopen 100% all of your stores? And when were you able to do that? Is that some time ago now?
Yeah, some time ago now. We were closed, on average, we were closed about 6 months.
Okay.
Some states were open within 6 weeks. Some states took us 12 months, but now they're all fully open, no restrictions. We see a great number of workouts every day now. It feels like the old times, and boy, it feels good.
Well, not to be negative on Peloton, but we noticed that they, that business didn't work out so well when people started to want to go back out into the real world again. I mean, did you see that happening? People were probably doing exercise at home the second they could go back to a gym they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said, home fitness is not new. It's been here since Jane Founder and Billy Blanks with IPO, P90X, go down the list of home fitness. It'll always be there, but I always look at it, it'll always be second fiddle to bricks and mortar. And it was just a matter of time for gyms to reopen, that people go back with the normalcy.
Great. And the number of locations you have is already enormous. I mean, how many could you really go to in the future? And I guess as a follow-on to that, would that include a fair amount of international growth?
Sure. Yeah, great question. So we have a potentially US for at least 4,000 stores. We've been saying that since the IPO 7 years ago. And now, like I mentioned, 25% of the industry is permanently closed because of COVID. So I look at the 4,000 potential as our floor, not our ceiling. So with 2,400 stores, we're about halfway there. And that's just domestically. We've got stores in Canada. We've taken about 300 stores in Canada. We're up to about 60 today. We're now in Mexico, Panama, Australia. We just went to New Zealand this coming year. But it's just tip of the iceberg, really. I mean, when you think about it, 20% of the US has a gym membership, and that's the best there is in the world.
Yeah.
So there's such a need in every country, right? And being $10 a month in the judgment-free zone, catering to casual first-timers, which what the vast majority of the world population is, we're definitely avoiding so.
Yeah, I mean, I have to imagine. I mean, I lived in Singapore, and I remember there was no inexpensive gym option there. They're all pretty pricey. Is that true in a lot of countries outside the U.S.?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, a lot of it's just about the fit getting fitter, and they'll pay them to do that, right? But if you're trying to fitness for the first time and you're embarrassed or you're uncomfortable, do you really want to go up and spend $100 a month or $50 a month in a contract, which we don't have contracts, every day. So I think that's just breaking down those barriers. People can fitness or try, and it's intimidating if you haven't done it.
Great. I want to ask you about something I just saw. I think a recent announcement. It was about a partnership for gasoline discounts with Shell. How did that come about? I wouldn't have thought fitness and gasoline go together.
Yeah, it was actually perfect timing too. That's when gas prices were by $6 a gallon. And but what it was with us is with our perks program and Planet Fitness is whether it's fitness related or not fitness related, we want to be a partner in their day-to-day lives. Right. And maybe it helps get to the gym too a little easier because it's less expensive than gas, But now with our perks program in our app, it allows our members to create value. If you can't get into the club this week or this month, maybe I'm helping you save money on trucks or money on gas or money at Grubhub. At least I'm kind of their partner in life and not just helping wellness.
I've asked almost everyone this question today. Have you had any supply chain issues? I mean, obviously you're having to replace equipment a lot, and I'm not sure some of that might be coming from overseas. Is that causing any issues for you?
Some of it does come from overseas, but believe it or not, no. The biggest issue we have, which is something that you never would have guessed in a million years, is air conditioning. Out of everything in the world that you'd think would be slower from openings, it's finding air conditioning. And, what used to be 10 weeks out is like 30, 40 weeks out. So it's really just HVAC for the units. We have some units that are built out with equipment, with locker rooms, just waiting their air conditioning to be put in. So that's really been the big one.
Now, I'm curious about the equipment. Before you came on here, I was just talking to my colleague about the distinctive equipment you have with the bright purple color. Yeah. Tell us about that. How often you replace it? And is this custom made somewhere? I mean, are these machines that I would see anywhere else, or is it just for you guys?
Sure, yeah. So we partner with Life Fitness and Matrix, which are two leading brands in the industry. Same cardio, you'll find it at $100 a month Equinox Club, right? So same equipment, but because of our volume and our size and scale, we wanted to brand it purple and yellow with our logo, with our slogan, Judgment Free Zone. And it's really conducive of casual first timers. We don't have 180-pound dumbbells. We don't have the Olympic squat racks and benches. Really circuit training, tons of cardiovascular equipment. But it's really, it's the best equipment money can buy. We just happen to brand it for ourselves.
My brother is a customer of yours, and he travels a lot. And I was just thinking, do you have a lot of people who are taking advantage of the fact that you're in all 50 states who are on the road all the time?
Yeah, absolutely. So our Black Card membership has reciprocity. That's one of the perks of the Black Card membership. So for $24.99, you can use your home club, any club in the world, quite frankly. And the more stores we open, the more convenient it is, and the more usability. And believe it or not, 1 in 5 Black Card workers is not at their home club.
Wow.
So 20% of all our Black Card workouts and works. That's great convenience.
Yeah, that's really something. Well, we're almost out of time here, Chris, but I want to ask you, you've had a great 2022. What are you most excited about looking to this next year? We're 2 weeks in, over the rest of 2023.
Yeah, the momentum we're seeing, honestly, and I think one other thing I'd add is that the way we see generations working out and the younger generations keep working out more and more and more in the previous generation. The Gen Zs have really taken to fitness, more so than even the millennials and Gen X. So it's just a huge tailwind. We already have 9%, almost 1 in 10 of Gen Zs are already a member today.
Wow.
And of the ones that are of age, there's still another 6 years not even old enough here. So as this continues to age in, there's so much opportunity to acquire that.
All right, great. Well, that's Chris Rondeau. Chris, thanks so much for joining us. It's a terrific interview. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.